From the Peterson Event Center on the campus of the great University of Pittsburgh inside Pitt Studios, welcome to the award-winning Pat Narduzzi Show. I'm Larry Richard with Panthers head football coach, I should say the Chris Pickle 97 head football coach, Pat Narduzzi. Coach, congratulations. Week 1, win 1.
Hey, no doubt about it. You know, our kids, as in the beginning there, get your minds right. They get their minds right. And, it's good to have one game under our belt. We beat them pretty handily, UMass that is, and I was proud of the way our kids approached the game. Those are hard openers when you feel like you're supposed to win, you're gonna win. How big are you gonna win? You hate to, you never talk in the office about like, well, hey, when we get the threes in there, when we get, you don't even want to talk about it. But it's nice to get. I think we had 75 guys playing that game.
Yeah, 51-7, the final score. Pretty much went as you hoped it would. Maybe better in some ways, maybe not as good in others. The evaluation of what you saw?
Overall we're happy. When we look at the defense, we were stout for 3 quarters. I think in the first half they had three first downs. So I was excited with what the defense did. They executed pretty good. They tackled well with all the talk of the 9 padded practices that we have and how are we going to tackle. I thought we did a good job. We'll definitely be tested this week to find out how really good we are. And offensively, you score 51 points, you're doing good. And it's never easy. We shot ourselves early, but we didn't get down, and then we just started to roll after that. So, and then our special teams were really solid. Kirk, punted twice. That's good. Disappointed that we missed an extra point. That's something that should never, ever happen when you're sitting right there. You probably, Larry, could go out there and pop that thing through, I think.
I'm not going to call that, but I get what you're trying to say.
But it was good to see Sam get in, kick a, 35-yarder, I believe, and then I should say Sam got in, kicked the 35-yarder, and then we got, our backup in there to be able to hit one, too. So it was good to see Sauls get in there.
I know all the sports writers asking your players this week, trying to get them to talk about big game, SEC, Tennessee, on the road, 100,000 people, and to a man they said, it's the next game, so it's the biggest game.
I'm glad they said that. I didn't tell them to say that either. They're mature enough. Maybe EJ schooled them up, but that's good that they're locked in. And again, it is the next game, and they're a good football team, and they got a lot of speed. They're big, they're strong, they're physical, and it's an SEC football team. But guess what? We're an ACC football team, and not a middle-of-the-road ACC team either.
It's been a long time since these two teams have met, and as you know, there's some tremendous ties, and this is officially the Johnny Majors Classic for 2 seasons on the road and then at home at Heinz Field next year. But special since the late Johnny Majors and the 76 team was recognized last weekend.
No question about it. You combine those two together and to have Johnny be the game in his name is awesome. I think our equipment guys got a nice 1976 shirt for me to wear with the old logo on there. It'd be pretty smooth to wear that.
Oh, that's cool.
In honor of Johnny. So I'll be wearing an old school shirt. I like it.
And you have a special honorary captain, too.
Yes, we do. Jackie's going to be here, Jackie Sherrill. We're excited. Asked him a couple weeks ago. He told me some great stories I might have to share next week, okay?
Okay.
After the game. But he shared some stories during the summer, so I knew that would be a perfect fit for this game.
Yeah, so you had Johnny Majors coach Pitt twice, and then in between he coached his alma mater, Tennessee, and then Jackie Sherrill was one of his assistants, and then obviously came and coached at Pitt for a stint too. And he had a pretty good record himself.
No question about it. He was there, I think, in the last 30-6 win at Tennessee, so it'll be fun to have him here.
Yeah, it was September 3rd, 1983.
Good for you. Wow.
So you can't go back and look at tape. It won't matter. None of that matters. Yeah. In fact, you have an opportunity with Tennessee because Josh Heupel, you've beat his team, that high-speed, high up-tempo offense that he was so successful at Central Florida. He brings to Tennessee along with 10 Power 5 grad transfers.
No doubt about it. We did beat them last time here at home, but we did not win. I don't know if you forgot to mention that, though. I remember the loss.
Well, I wasn't going to mention that one.
But we did lose.
The last one was a win.
So, that makes you angry, and this is the rubber match. So this is number 3, and we get to go on the road in a crazy atmosphere.
Yeah, we'll be joined by former Pitt quarterback Pat Bostic, who was part of a major announcement as the Associate Athletic Director of Major Gifts. We mentioned Chris Pickle, 97, alumni that donated $20 million to the program. So I know, Heather, like the athletic director, you're very grateful and happy about that. That's special that somebody thinks that much of you and the program to want to do that.
No question about it. I mean, he's been a a longtime Pitt fan. To be able to we built a relationship with him. I mean, it's a genuine relationship. He's an awesome guy. He's a guy you could have fun with every night of the week if you didn't have to work every night. We're excited about the gift. We're excited about what the major plans might be here in the future, and can't thank Chris enough, and can't thank Pat Bostic enough too. He's cultivated that relationship and got that deal down, and again, his title has finally come through. So, Pat gets a lot of the credit.
That was a major gift. We're going to go ahead and give him.
He's got one. Okay, he's got one,
and a big one,
no doubt.
And last Wednesday at this time, Coach and Pat, they knew. But I didn't know yet. They made the announcement last Thursday, so now I could see why you guys were so excited and happy. Let's talk about the weekly awards versus UMass. Players of the week. Let's start with special teams.
Special teams. Brandon George was the guy. Sometimes people just forget those special teams. I think it's they're unsung every week, and we had a nice day on special teams. But Brandon, he had played 19 plays on the day, which is a lot of plays. It might have been the most plays. So he's just about on every special teams. Maybe had 8 plays on defense, but to get those 19 plays, had a tackle inside the 20, and he graded out 100%. I mean, he's just doing everything the right way. He's just a smart kid.
How about on defense?
Ooh, number 8, that D tackle, Kalijah Cansey, was outstanding.
He was a beast.
He was disruptive, and he's been like that, and we need him to play like that this week down in Knoxville. But he had 5 tackles, a sack, and a TFL. And again, you could say he was disruptive about 10 or 15 times in there. He's causing havoc in the backfield.
Yeah, and your defensive coordinator, Randy Bates, talked this week about being disruptive. That's how this up-tempo offense you're going to play this week. What about on offense?
On offense, we gave the entire offensive line, protecting Kenny in the pocket, and then what we did in the run game. The offense went with Carter Warren, Marcus Miner, Owen, Cradle, and Gabe Hoy. So those guys got the honor.
We also heard from Coach Borbely, and he nearly cracked a smile. That's how good. I guess he felt things went with the line.
He better crack a smile this week. Okay, it was UMass. We got Tennessee this week, and there's nobody smiling in the office looking at that defensive line we're going to face this week.
But you do pick one, so offensive lineman of the week
was Carter Warren. He graded out, I think, a 90% grade and really played outstanding. And that's how you want your left tackle to play.
And you have a grouping of unsung heroes.
Yeah, the guys that maybe weren't that player of the week but did some unbelievable things. Special teams was, Chris Tadulu, only had 2 punts, but netted 44.5 yards. Just had a nice day, and we hope he has 2 punts every game. That'd be beautiful. Defensively, we had 2 guys just getting a lot of points in production. Phil Campbell with 3 tackles and a sack and a pass breakup, and then Johnny Patrician, who's our guest today, 5 tackles and 2 sacks, one on a blitz and one on an add-in. And then on offense, obviously Lucas Krull with his 5 catches for 58 yards and a touchdown was outstanding.
And defense attack force player of the week.
It was Eric Hallett. He had 3 tackles. He was productive. He had great eye control all day, and he had that great tackle with the strip at the same time and recovered it. So he did all the work himself.
He talked to the media today, and he was terrific. Never spent that much time, and he talked about the focus, and then Jared Wayne talked about focus where our feet are. Is that something you guys talked to them about?
It's something we've talked to them a little bit about. Be where your feet are, and our guys are playing in the moment, and they're worried about today, and then tomorrow they'll worry about tomorrow, and taking it one play at a time.
Let's talk about the Rocks. Those are the guys that give you a vision of what you're going to face on Saturday.
Yeah, those guys I can't thank those guys enough, and we've got probably the largest rock team that we've ever had. Special team guy was a guy named Luke Delgadio. I'm hoping at some point in his career he gets in and blocks a punt. He gives us a great rush. He has a knack of blocking punts, so he gives us great rush on our Rangers group, and has done an outstanding job. Offensively, Nate Yarnell, our quarterback from Texas, from Austin, Texas, he's been really good. He's going to be a great player for the future. He's special. Just after 2 practices already, I could give it to him this week. He's done a great job of emulating their quarterback. And then defense, Nick Lappy, just a young freshman linebacker who just is a tough kid that does everything you ask him to do the right way.
Those are your Pitt Panthers awardees of the week. And you're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
to be smart. We have to have poise. What? 1, 2, 3, what?
Welcome back to the Pat Narduzzi Show. Larry Richard with head coach Pat Narduzzi and coach's special guest, John Patrician, who is number 0 and a star linebacker who came as a grad transfer 2019, locally Central Catholic, Lower Burrell. John, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm honored.
Got to tell you, watching you play Saturday and seeing you over the last couple of years, man, you really just stood out to me. First of all, physiologically, you have gone from safety to linebacker. That was something you contemplated before. What got you to make that change, and with coach's approval?
Yeah, so that's something that Coach Narduzzi's been saying for a while now. That's something that a lot of people in my life has mentioned to me, over the years, or tried to get me to think about doing. I was always hesitant and resistant to do that just because I wanted to play safety, and that's what I did my whole life. But so we finally made the switch at the beginning of camp last season, and I loved it. I hit the ground running. My head was spinning for a little bit at the beginning, but I think I picked it up quick and started to get momentum towards the end of the season, and then everything clicked recently, and I'm having so much fun doing it.
Yeah, and as Coach mentioned, you had 5 tackles, 2 sacks. Anytime you get 2 sacks in any game doing anything, that's significant, and I could tell you were feeling it.
I was having so much fun out there. Could you tell?
Yes.
Awesome.
And I don't know if we shared this with Coach or if you did, but John, you talked after the game, and I thought this was significant, about a mindset change that you had. Instead of trying to prove naysayers wrong, you changed your mindset.
Yeah, so, for the past couple years, I was trying to, prove other people wrong, and, I wasn't really enjoying myself. I wasn't having so much fun doing that. So I kind of realized that I have a really strong core group of people that support me, and, in addition to myself. So I kind of changed that mindset into trying to prove myself right and the people that support me right. And it's more enjoyable that way, and I'm having more fun and having success with that.
And it showed. It really did Saturday. And, Coach, your guys were rolling on defense, which is what he likes. But clearly you were supporting each other and having a lot of fun.
We were having so much fun, and that's something that I also talked about after the game. Is I think, the meshing of our group is more than ever, and I think we're also really excited and happy to see each other succeed on the field. And I think that's evident, throughout all 3 different, the defensive line, the secondary, as well as the linebackers. We're all so happy for each other, and we don't care who gets the credit, as long as we're having fun and doing our job.
And the most important game is the next game. It's Tennessee, SEC, ACC. A lot on the line for both programs. One of their, I guess the focus is going to be on their up-tempo offense, which you faced before, and subbing guys in and out's a challenge, right, Coach?
It's a challenge. We're going to be good at doing it when we can do it, but if they don't sub, it's going to be hard to do it.
Right. If they do, that's when you get the opportunity. So I would imagine, John, after you get that first game under your belt, Coach always talks about the most improvements from any game are from the 1 to 2. So what kind of improvements will you try to make based on the experience you had playing UMass?
Yeah, I think the first game, we got the first game jitters out of the way a little bit. I said after the game that I'm more confident than I've ever been before, and I'm having more fun than I've ever had. And I think that goes to, from my preparation and also from Coach Manilak. He's been instrumental in my confidence, and I really feel that he believes in me, and it's showing on the field.
Coach, when you're in a situation where you have depth and talent, especially at the linebacker position, you want to make sure you get guys reps too, because you want to keep their mindset in the game and make plays and keep them fresh. That's going to be a bit of a challenge maybe on Saturday with the up-tempo offense that Josh Heupel's teams have.
Yeah, but we're gonna get them fresh. That's for sure. Whether it's Cam goes 8 plays and John goes 8, we're gonna try to get him in there. I'd like to see equal reps and fast linebackers in the 4th quarter.
John, so I'm looking at former Pitt players, and I saw a whole group of guys who were at the game supporting you. DeMar Hamlin, obviously another Central product. He was on the sideline. He was just watching everything. He was so excited to be there. Did you get a chance to talk to these guys, Patrick Jones, Rashad Weaver, Jason Pinnock?
Yeah, I talked to them all, and it means a lot to us that they came back to support us because, it feels like yesterday they were just on the team with us. So I think when they were in the locker room and on the sideline, guys perked up and we had fun. And, it means a lot seeing that they were excited for us as well, and they want to share that with us.
And but based on your success and the way you've been able to transition, looks like you're headed for a lot of success this year, John. So great to get to meet you and spend a little time.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it and hope to see you guys on here again soon.
John Patrician, star linebacker, 0. Want to see you get 2 sacks a game. Everything will take care of itself. Trust
Yes, sir.
me.
Thank you.
And when we come back, you'll hear from former Pitt quarterback Pat Bostic. We'll get a scouting report on Tennessee. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
We got to be smart. We have to have poise. One, two, three.
Last year was unique.
It was odd not hearing the fans in the stands.
I can't wait for this year to start. Let's return to Hines.
The band,
The crowd.
the hits, the big hits.
College game day. The scrambles. The big catches. The sacks.
The celebrations.
One more dive to the pylon.
And joining us on the Pat Narduzzi Show, former Pitt quarterback and associate athletic director of Major Gifts, Pat Bostic. What you need to know about the Volunteers, brought to you by PNC Bank. Make today the day. We talked, Pat, about Josh Heupel's teams, first-year coach at Tennessee, but we know him from Central Florida with that really up-tempo offense, maybe the quickest to get to the line of any team in college football.
7 to 10 seconds. I mean, it's gonna be fast, and we've dealt with it all week. We got a great look out of our scout team, but it'll be the fastest we see all year, just like it was in the past. And we got, it's SEC players as opposed to Central Florida guys, so it's gonna be different.
How much of a challenge as a quarterback, Pat? 2 things: you got the 100,000 people in the crowd there, and then you're going to deal with the noise and the speed.
Well, I mean, obviously communication is the most important thing. You got to get the play in, got to get it called, got to communicate the line of scrimmage. Can't have false starts, snap infractions, things like that will put you backwards and get that crowd even louder. So the first couple series is key. I remember playing at Notre Dame, and we had a false start in the first play of the game, and the crowd just jacks up 25% because they know they were a part of it. So you got to operate, in the chaos, and you practice it all week. I had to wear earplugs at practice today. It was so loud out there. So you practice it, and it's all about operation and just focusing on the details.
And it might be easier for the quarterback than the rest of the guys. I mean, that offensive line's got the bigger stress, I think, personally, without ever playing it or being the quarterback. But, Kenny knows when the ball's coming. He'll catch it whenever they snap it. But getting all 10 other guys to move on the same cadence is probably the hardest part.
Well, and the O-line's trying to make line calls. You got an adjusting front. You got a lot of things going on, and there's tactics to handle that, to handle the snap, to communicate. But at the end of the day, the right guard's got to communicate to the right tackle. Center's got to go to the right guard. They got to get down the line. So you try to simplify it, and obviously the defense is going to move around, and you've got to be able to adjust and make plays.
So the Pat Bostic scouting report of Tennessee, what are some of the things outside of the up-tempo and facing the hostile crowd do you see at the team itself?
They've got SEC talent up front is where you really see it. You D-line, they got big D-linemen. Guys are athletic, fast, explosive. The quarterback's a big dude, and he can throw it a mile. He can throw it hard. He's accurate. They spread you out more than any team I've seen in terms of their splits. I mean, and what they want to do. I mean, they ran for over 300 yards last week. They spread you out, and people think, they're going to pass, they're going to throw. It's for the run game too. I mean, trying to get second-level defenders in there to support against the run game. They put a premium on you. They stress you from sideline to sideline. So schematically, it's really good. But what jumps out to me is the players, and it starts with that quarterback transfer from Michigan. He's got a big arm, and they're going to cut it loose and throw some deep balls.
And they had 2 running backs over 100 yards. Tyon Evans, 120. Jabari Small, 117. Your big mission, I know, on defense is always stop the run.
got to stop the run, and they like to run it, and we've got to force him to throw the ball wherever it is, in the flats. It'll be even bigger than it ever is. And again, against us, they've liked to throw it more than run it because I think they were outmatched in the box. I think right now with that offensive line, their running backs and their tight ends, I think they can probably now at this point be able to run it on. So I expect them to try to get a run game going, and we're ready to stop it.
And Pat, as far as Tennessee on defense, one of the guys that stood out was Theo Jackson. He had 11 tackles against Bowling Green. He's their star linebacker and one of their best players on defense. How do we match up against their defense?
Oh, they're good. I mean, they play a lot of man-free, fire zone, a little bit of quarters. They mix it up, but when you got 4-down linemen like they have, you can do a lot. It'd be interesting to see, I think, how much they trust those front four and play coverage. UMass a week ago dropped 8-9 into coverage against Kenny in the pass game. I'm sure, obviously, Tennessee's watching that. Do they just let those front four go to work and try to match receivers in this pass game? It'll be interesting. Obviously, you got to try to get the run game going. 94 is a stud inside.
I love 51.
51's
Elijah Simmons is a beast.
He's 350 pounds. So I mean, these are guys that you've seen before. You've seen this type of player before. They've got multiple of them though, and they roll guys. So it's a test. But one I think Pitt's ready for. It's nothing they haven't seen. It's just this is a new environment, and last year you didn't have that. So some of the guys that got their first action last year, Jordan Addison, they played against Florida State in front of 15,000 people, not 85. So now you go down to Neyland Stadium and get a big environment. But what you can lean on is mature leadership. You got a quarterback that's been through the fires. You got an offensive line that's been through the fires. Defensively, you're loaded with veterans, guys that have been in the stage before, can calm the other guys down. And once the first series is done, it's football, and that's all it is.
Well, let's go back though and talk about Kenny Pickett's performance. He had a great day. His quarterback rating was off the charts, so it's everything you'd hoped it would be, right?
Yeah, I mean, kind of expected to see it. Hate to say that, but that's what you expect out of him, and probably could have had a couple more touchdowns. A few things go the right way, and some stumbles, enough for a coaching staff to be frustrated after the game and coach them up, but enough also to be happy about. I thought they made plays. They're explosive offensively. Addison, Barden, Mack. Shockey made some plays. The thing that I was pleased to see just how last year started was Lucas Kroll made some plays under the lights and some big plays, some tough catches. Key catch in the flat on an out route in traffic, scored a touchdown. There's been a lot of hype about him, and when you look at him, you can't help but kind of salivate, like, what could this be? But he got off to a great start to 2021, and he'll be a key part of this offense. The tight end position, you've got two guys that you feel really good about.
Hey, Coach, you said you were happy with the performance overall, the offensive line. A lot rides on that in any game. How about your running backs? You got everybody some touches.
Yeah, we did. We got everybody. AJ started off, and Vince Davis got carries. Rodney Hammond got carries and looked great. Izzy, scored. So we had, I think, 5 different guys scored touchdowns in the run game. So we're excited about that. We just need to get it narrowed down to 2 or 3 guys and roll.
Why is that so important? If you just go with the hot hand, but you need 2 reliable backs like you had a few seasons ago.
Yeah, you need 2 and you need 3 because one's going to get banged up, and then you're down to those 2. So, I don't think you ever want to have one guy with nobody else. So it's a good problem to have, but you still, it's like Coach Powell sitting in the middle of the game, like, I can't manage all these guys. It's hard to get them all in. And again, Todd Sibley's a good player. Daniel Carr's a good player. But they're having a tough time with those other guys right now.
Hot hand's tough to judge too, because sometimes running zone or it takes a couple to hit it, and you want to get into a rhythm, see how the front's moving, those types of things. So at bats are important for tailbacks.
University of Pittsburgh hasn't played Tennessee since September 3rd, 1983. This is the Johnny Majors Classic, home and home. So they'll come here next season, but I would imagine the guys are really amped up for this game. That said, what's it going to take from what you've scouted to match up with Tennessee?
Clean, make plays. I mean, it's the same thing every week. You gotta. The way they spread you out, you got to tackle well. You got to tackle well. You got to secure the line.
Stop the run, Patrick.
Stop the run. That's the key thing. And then offensively, you got to be balanced. With this pass rush, it's important that Kenny's not a statue back there. And you go make plays against what's going to probably be one-on-one coverage. And they're going to challenge you. They think they're more talented because they're an SEC team. We're going to find out. And that's the fun part.
It's a lot of fun, and it was great atmosphere to be there Saturday, and looking forward to more of the same. First time we get to travel in 2 seasons, so we don't take it for granted, Coach. We're really looking forward to this weekend as well.
I'm fired up for you.
See you at Rocky Top.
Behave down there now.
See you at Rocky Top.
Behave.
Pat Bostic, former Pitt quarterback, our color analyst, along with Bill Hillgrove for our broadcast. And we'll get some final thoughts. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
We got to be smart. We have to have poise. What? 1, 2, 3, what?
It's the Pat Narduzzi Show with final thoughts. Head coach Pat Narduzzi getting ready to take his Panthers on the road to Knoxville, Tennessee. It is the Johnny Majors Classic. Looking forward to your first road game of the year, I would imagine, Coach.
We are looking forward to it. I think our kids are excited about the trip down there. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Our guys will be ready to play. It should be interesting.
And as you're preparing, what are some of the keys to victory?
You know, I say it every week, we've got to stop the run on defense. We've got to eliminate the explosive plays on the outside. Our corner's got to have a great day. The one-on-one matchups with the safeties are going to be key as well. So those 4 guys back there, they're put in one-on-one situations. I don't care if you're in cover 3, cover 1, doesn't matter. They are going to be in space just because of the nature of the offense. That's what they put you in, unless you want to drop 8 players and then they're just going to run the ball down your throat, which can't happen.
We mentioned, the 2 running backs over 100 yards, but they have some talented wide receivers too.
They really do. Number 11 and number 4, Cedric Tillman and Jalen Hyatt, 2 fast guys. Talked to Jim Chaney, old offense coordinator here, coached all those guys. He said, Jalen Hyatt's a 4.3 every day type guy. So that's some major speed, 10.3, 500-meter guy. So they've got some incredible speed out there.
And how do you evaluate Joe Milton, their quarterback?
Joe Milton is an athletic guy. I think he's starting to learn that offense. I mean, obviously he wasn't there for spring ball, which is an advantage for us. So he's still learning. He's going to get better every week, and that's what you just hope he doesn't get better till the next week.
Right.
Okay, let's just wait another week.
Week 3.
But he's a good football player. He's athletic. He doesn't, he's not just going to throw it in tight coverage and throw a pick. He'd rather take off and run. So if it's not there, he's going to take off. And then we've got to tackle him. He's 240 pounds, and he's got a lot of confidence right now.
Well, good luck against the Volunteers in Tennessee, Coach.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it. Be fun to get you down there.
Looking forward to it. Thanks to our executive producer, PJ Komanchik, our newlywed, Amanda Soleil, now married to Ryan King, producing here at the Pete. Cale Berger back at our master control. Paul Bartow and his Pitt team. E.J. Borghetti with the University of Pittsburgh, who always keeps us in the know. We appreciate it. Pitt Beyond the Script, Thursday, AT&T Sportsnet at 10:30 a.m., plus the Pat Narduzzi Radio Show Friday at 4:30 and Saturday morning with a replay at 10. We'll be on the air at 10 o'clock with our pregame, a noon kick on ESPN, and right here, Larry Richard saying, we'll see you Saturday. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network. Hail to Pitt.